Hello my arty friends, welcome to I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm going to give it a crack anyway. This afternoon's project is to make some pots with lids. However, I have never made pots with lids before. So if you're looking at this as a tutorial, please don't. The first part of this process is to pretty much get it the size that I want it. Open the clay out, compress the bottom, make sure that I've got enough in the bottom of the pot to trim and then to bring up the sides. So I do this probably 3 or 4 times just to get it. Now there was a kilo's worth of clay here, so I probably could have gone a little bit bigger if I'd wanted to, but because this is the first time I've done it, I thought I'd just play it safe. The walls might be a little bit thicker than maybe they should be, but I can probably trim that off during the trimming process. Once I'm happy with the size and the shape of the cylinder, I have to start collaring in the top. Now, I've only done this a few times. It took me a little bit just to work out where my fingers had to be, and then when I started to bring it in a bit, you can see the top started going a bit wonky-donk. Now, that really puts me off, and I have collapsed many a cup by having a wonky-donk top. I don't know why, it just does, puts me off. So I have to cut it off so that it's nice and straight. Now what I'm doing is making sure that it maintains a reasonable shape so that when it does get leather hard and I do actually cut it in half where I want the lid to be, it doesn't look too odd. Now, again, this is the first time I've actually closed up a pot. So even though it looks like I did a really fast job, this whole process took about 15 minutes and I did slow the wheel right down because I've lost many a pot by overworking the clay. Once I'm happy with the shape, I trim the excess around the bottom of the pot. Now, it looks nicer when you're, drying it out. And also, it saves trimming off too much when you're at the trimming process, especially considering I'm actually going to cut this sort of more or less in half. And you've got to be really careful with how much you trim off the bottom, because if you trim too much, then you end up with like a pot plant. Or it just ends up in the recycled clay. It just looks a bit nicer. Now I admit, at this point it is looking like a bit of a boob. I think I've made a booby pot. Not a boo-boo, just a booby pot. But hey, who doesn't want to take sugar out of a booby bowl? I'm in. I am happy with it though. I'm happy with the shape for a first attempt at this. And we'll see how the next ones go. So if this works out, I'll be back to show the end result.